Hello and welcome to this segment of the Call of the Wild. I'm your host Jim Martin. This week we're talking about predator calling. Last week we talked about predator calling, but we used the howler call. That was a locator call, and you know how we locate coyotes and get them to respond so we can set up. Just like turkey calling, using the owl call, the crow call to locate one. Well, that coyote howler is a locator call, using the same way. Now we're going to talk about what's called with Night and Hale called the mini predator call. Now this is a jackrabbit call in distress. So after we've located them, after we set up on them, now we use this call to try to call them in. This is like ringing the dinner bell to them. So the couple of tips though before we get going is you want to use a lot of emotion in the call. You know, when you're distressed, you want to sound distressed, okay? And also don't call more than 1 to 2 minutes at a time. And then wait 5 to 10 minutes in between calls, and then don't stay in one setup for more than 30 or 40 minutes. Nothing's happening, get up and move to another area. Okay? Also know your wind direction. Coyotes can see, hear, and smell just as good as any animal in the woods, and you want to respect all three of those. So make sure your wind direction's not in your back going toward where you think that they're coming from, because they can smell you. Also, you want to hunt early in the morning and late in the evening. That's the best time for coyote activity. Excuse me. And you want to also, if you know their bedding areas, if you know about where they're bedding at, and you can usually know like late in the evening, early in the morning if you hear them howling, that's usually where they're bedding at. So that's a good area to set up on to try to call these coyotes in. Also remember to identify your target. You know, you never want to shoot anything you don't know what you're shooting at. You know, nobody's worth getting shot over or getting shot at. No game is worth that. So you definitely want to make sure you identify your target. Now this call has specific reeds that are made for a specific sound. And so what I want to try to do is you hold it just like you do for an owl call between your forefinger and thumb, and then make a little chamber. And you can really go out and you want to, rabbits have a small, very, very small lung, and they have small bursts of air that come out. It's not one constant call. If you'll notice, I do a lot of short, small bursts of air. And they sound something like this. Sounds something like that. Then just stop, wait, look and listen. Now, you know, coyotes aren't going to come in calling at you. You know, they're just going to come, so you got to, you know, use your sight and really use your keen eyesight to pick them up. And if you can order this, you can order this call on the globaloutfitters.com. Go to globaloutfitters.com, go to the Pro Shop. We're open 24/7. And if you have any questions about any calls we're doing on the show, you can email me directly at jimmartin@globaloutfitters.com. I'm Jim Martin, your host of Call of the Wild. We'll see you next week.